In this lesson, we will discuss contracts in the world of cloud computing. Contracts refer to the legal agreement between organizations and cloud providers that outline the terms and conditions of using cloud services. It includes various areas such as data ownership, data security, intellectual property, service levels, service availability, disaster recovery, and business continuity, fees, and terminations. Data ownership refers to who owns the data stored in the cloud. Some cloud providers retain ownership of the data, while others allow customers to retain ownership. It is crucial for organizations to understand the data ownership policies of their cloud provider outlined in the contract to ensure that they are in compliance with any relevant regulations to ensure that they have control over their data. Data security is another crucial aspect in contracts in the world of cloud computing, because it refers to the measures taken by cloud providers to protect the data stored in the cloud from unauthorized access, theft, or loss. Organizations should consider the data security policies of their cloud provider outlined in the contract, including encryption, access controls, and disaster recovery plans to ensure that their data is protected. Intellectual property refers to the ownership of the software and other technology used in cloud computing. And again, organizations need to make sure that they're really looking at these contracts to ensure that the provider is providing everything that they agreed to, and also that they are not violating any other patent or trademark policies, and to make sure that they have the rights to use the software and technology as intended. Service levels refer to the level of service that a cloud provider commits to providing to a customer. Service levels can include the availability, performance, and reliability of a given service, as well as the terms and conditions of the service. Organizations should consider the service level agreements of their cloud provider outlined in the contracts to understand the different level of service that they can expect to receive and to ensure that the provider can meet their business needs. Service availability is also an important aspect of contracts in cloud computing, as it refers to the amount of time that the cloud service is available to any individual customer. Organizations should consider the service availability of their cloud provider outlined in the contract, again, to ensure that their service will be available when they need it, because this is pretty much the most important thing of having the business. Disaster recovery and business continuity plans are also very, very important aspects of contracts in cloud computing, because organizations need to make sure that they consider the disaster recovery and business continuity plans of their cloud provider outlined in the contract to ensure that their data and applications will be protected in the event of a disaster, emergency, anything of that nature. Fees and terminations are also an important aspect of contracts in cloud computing. The organizations need to make sure that they clearly understand the fees and termination policies of their cloud provider, because it can be crucial when it comes to budgeting to make sure you correctly understand the cost associated with the service and to ensure that they can terminate the service whenever it's necessary. Now, this was a very quick lesson, so to recap, we're just going to go over a few things. Contracts in the cloud computing environment are legal agreements between organizations and cloud providers that outline the terms and conditions of using cloud services. Organizations should take into account data ownership, data security, intellectual property, service levels, service availability, disaster recovery and business continuity, fees, and termination while reviewing and negotiating with the cloud providers. This will help them to understand the costs and benefits associated with cloud services and help them make informed decisions about investing in the cloud. It's important for organizations to carefully review and understand the terms and conditions outlined in the cloud with their cloud providers, and to work with the provider to meet their specific needs and, more importantly, their budget. Last but not least, organizations should also consider seeking legal advice when reviewing and negotiating contracts to ensure that their rights and interests are protected by the contract.